From Washington, this is VOA News. The U.S. president orders thousands of troops to deploy to Liberia to help it contain the deadly Ebola virus. And the head of the U.S. military opens the door to U.S. troops getting involved in combat operations in Iraq. I'm Michael Lipin reporting from Washington. U.S. President Barack Obama says the United States is ready to lead a global response to the deadly Ebola virus ravaging West Africa. Mr. Obama outlined his plan on Tuesday during a visit to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta.
The world is looking to us, the United States, and it's a responsibility that we embrace. We're prepared to take leadership on this, to provide the kinds of capabilities that only America has, and to mobilize the world in ways that only America can do.
Well, Mr. Obama said 3,000 U.S. troops will be sent to a new Ebola command center in Liberia's capital, Monrovia. The Ebola outbreak in Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone has killed almost 2,500 people. U.S. forces will be tasked with building 17 healthcare facilities to isolate and treat victims, but the troops are not expected to directly care for Ebola patients. And the top U.S. military officer says he may need to deploy American ground troops in Iraq to help the fight against Islamic State militants. This is VOA News. Speaking Tuesday, the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Martin Dempsey said that if he believes U.S. military advisors should accompany Iraqi troops in attacking militant targets, he will recommend that to the president. In a speech last week, Mr. Obama said the U.S. will expand its fight against the Islamic State group, but he vowed not to get dragged into another ground war in Iraq. South African President Jacob Zuma says the collapse of a church building in Nigeria's commercial capital Lagos last Friday killed 67 South Africans. Mr. Zuma said Tuesday the disaster is the deadliest to affect South Africans outside of the country in recent years. The South Africans were staying at a church-owned guest house at a compound of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, a major attraction for religious tourists. Investigators believe the guest house collapsed under the strain of additional floors being built at the top of the building. The UN Refugee Agency is making an urgent appeal for funds to help tens of thousands of Nigerians who have fled their homes due to attacks by Boko Haram militants in northeastern Nigeria. Lisa Schlein has more from Geneva on the UNHCR's appeal for $34 million in aid for Nigerian refugees.
While 75,000 people have fled into Cameroon, Chad, and Niger to escape vicious onslaughts by Boko Haram, the UNHCR says it expects that number to increase to at least 95,000 by the end of the year. UNHCR spokesman Baba Baloch says there is not enough shelter to accommodate the influx of refugees into Cameroon.
Newly arrived refugees told our teams at the border area that insurgents had attacked their villages in the areas of Gwaza, Bama, Pulka, and Itagala in the Borno state and stole everything before burning their houses.
Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
The United States has taken a major step toward resuming launches of astronauts into space from U.S. soil. U.S. Space Agency NASA said Tuesday it has chosen two private companies, Boeing and SpaceX, to build and launch spacecrafts to and from the International Space Station. NASA has relied on Russia to transport American space crews since retiring the U.S. Space Shuttle fleet in 2011. And Russia has urged its people not to panic as the nation's battered currency, the ruble, plunged to an all-time low against the US dollar. The Russian currency weakened to less than 38 rubles per dollar on Tuesday, as investors worried about the impact of new Western sanctions aimed at punishing Moscow for its role in the Ukrainian crisis. I'm Michael Lipin in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.